Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we have a brand new addition to the channel, the Teen Titans Season 2. Very excited that Season 2 is finally here. Uh, season 1 Season 1 got off to a bit of a rocky start. The season overall was well received, but I know there was some pushback from fans who are, about the accuracy of the characters as it relates to the comics or Teen Titans cartoon, which is my source of reference for this. Absolutely love the cartoons, not Teen Titans Go, of course, that's rubbish. But Teen Titans, the cartoon, the original cartoon. So people had some issues with the accuracy of the characters, and I get it. I get it. All right. As I said, as someone who loved the cartoons, I was hoping that they would follow those characters, that storyline. And when they did, I was a bit disappointed. But then I understood why they didn't, because there was no way they were never ever going to please every single person, no matter how accurate they try to get it. Someone is not going to be happy. So they decided to do their own storyline, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Um, I learned to prioritize the characters themselves and the storylines and not focus too much on the appearances. As long as these characters embody who the characters are, these actors embody who the characters are, I'm fine with it. Right? Last season we didn't get Batman really. We got some Batman action, but it added, even though we didn't get to see who Batman was really. I believe and because it's a dream sequence, it's obviously not real. But I believe the purpose of this was, to kind of build on the world that they spent the season developing. So we know Batman is here, we know Superman is here, we know Wonder Woman is here. So essentially, the Justice League exists in this world, but we're focusing on our Titans, and that's what they should do, right? Go the path of Netflix. Netflix's Daredevil and Punisher and Defenders, and go down that path where it's small, contained stories. The biggest mistake I think they could actually make is try to do some huge apocalyptic event, which Trigon may very well go down. And if they do head down that road, I hope it's later on. Um, I'm not opposed to them doing it, but it's too early for that. Focus on the characters, fleshing the characters out, small, contained stories, and then perhaps at the end of season 2 or season 3, we can go into Trigon territory. Right? Or at the very least, I don't know. I keep thinking wherever I've seen Trigon before, in the animated universe, it's usually some battle on a large scale that the Titans alone can never really handle themselves. And I don't want them to shift focus away from these characters just yet. So introduce Trigon, but have him retreat somewhere or something to some effect, and then come back later on. I know I deliberately did not watch the trailer for season 2, but I've heard rumors that Slade might be here. I do hope he is. Again, because Teen Titans is my source of reference, the cartoon is my source of reference for this. He was phenomenal in that, in a lot of ways, in how he tested Robin. So I want to see that character here. So I hope he's the focus of season 2, and we don't spend too much time on Trigon. I don't believe anyone believes he would be defeated this quickly. But from the poster that I've seen, Raven does have the shard in the center of her forehead, which would suggest that she has trapped him there. If you watch the cartoon, um, assuming that that is what happened, then that would be pretty. That would be super easy. I guess depending on when it happens here, but how we're gonna balance Slade and Trigon at the same time, I'm not entirely sure. But in addition to that, at the end of last season, we did get a glimpse of Superboy. So he may very well be here. I've only watched the first season of Young Justice. Um, I need to catch up. I'm familiar with Superboy from other films and animated and comics, but I don't know a whole lot about the character. He was in Young Justice, but I imagine he was developed a bit more in season 2 and 3, which I've not caught up with as yet. So we'll see how that works out. His addition here, I guess in some ways, I keep comparing it to Teen Titans, so I'm seeing him as the new Cyborg, because they don't have a heavy hitter on their team, really. So he would kind of fill that void, right? So he would be a good addition to it. Crypto is also here, which is an odd choice, but very odd choice, but a welcome addition to the team. I mean, last we left our team. It was, I mean, Robin is trapped in a dream sequence of sorts by Trigon. Raven is somehow trying to reach out to Dove and Hawk to try to get help to help her, but not quite sure why she didn't try to reach the others, as in Starfire, and that was actually outside the house, or maybe the person has to be asleep or something to that effect. I'm not sure, but I have no idea what's gonna happen next. No idea what's gonna happen next. So interested to see where season 2 will take us. I'm hoping that we will see this will focus mostly on Slade and less on Trigon. So deal with Trigon quickly, not kill him, but I imagine trap him or whatever the case might be. I would want to see his form before that happens, but if you don't, that's fine too, because again, he can always pop up sometime later on in another season or something, because he can never truly really be killed or destroyed, only contained. So it would be interesting to see where that storyline could actually go. Alright, so season 2 Titans, let's check it out. To get the red storyline.
Would you just stop blasting it? You're wasting all your power.
Rachel is in there. Anything could be happening to her.
Says the woman who was sent here to kill her. Okay, now that
She's
and Dick
not
are in
trying
there
to
with
kill her
the
now.
intergalactic demon, maybe you could try something that might actually work.
Like what?
Hey, don't stop on my account. I like where that was heading.
Jason?
That's right. The goddamn cavalry has arrived.
What the fuck is that?
How are you guys even gonna help?
Why is it wearing Dick's costume?
The new and
Annoying
improved
new Robin.
Who's your friend?
Hank?
No offense
That's
to you
twice
guys,
they've
man.
brought Superman up. This episode and the very last one of season 2. I do wonder if Superman is going to be making an appearance at some point.
Oh, that's creepy. Come on. Rachel! Come out and play. Rachel! Where are you?
This isn't right. Believe me, this isn't how it's supposed to end.
She's right. It ends with us all being together.
They came.
We have to get to them before my father does.
I'm still not even sure how Dick was even able to get in the first place.
Rachel's friends.
You're coming to save her.
And instead, they will only hurry this along. Cue the rescuers.
Kill them, break her heart.
Oh, great. That's not concerning.
It looks like someone's inviting us in.
Invitation accepted.
Titans.
Yes.
And
He wants to turn them all dark if they give into the darkness.
Trigon did something to Dick. He changed him.
What do you mean?
Where are the others?
I don't know. They came in with me. They should be here.
You need to stop them before he can get to them.
Like, it might have already happened. He does things to you in your mind.
Okay, just let me
Okay.
get you guys out of here.
Are we
first,
in
okay?
her
No,
mind,
you don't
or is it
understand.
that
It's too late.
she's not
No one's
affected?
safe. It's my fault. Kill me.
Yep. We're in her
It's the reason
head.
he came to Earth in the first place. He'll use me to take over our friends, everyone we love. They'll be his forever.
Is this a dream sequence? Is it not a dream sequence? I don't know. I think it's a dream. If she kills her,
Kill me
then
now.
she turns.
Corey.
I'm so sorry, Rachel.
down. Hank would be pretty easy. He's a hothead. He doesn't think straight. He'd be easy to turn.
No!
Come on, you said she was trained by Wonder Woman, right?
Hey! You. It was you. You did this. Why did you do it? Why did you set the fire? Tell me!
I can't help it. I like it when things burn. I'm sick. Arrest me.
I don't think she's gonna do that.
No.
Two down. God damn it.
Bruce, wake up, man.
I saw Bruce's future, Jason.
What the fuck did you do, Dick?
Batman was going to break.
The same sequence where Dick was.
Kill the Joker. Take down Gotham with him. He trained you too well, Jason. You think you're
He's
better
the
than
better Robin.
I didn't say that.
You think you can take my place?
Dick, stop.
Look at me, Robin, after him.
If you insist.
Gun.
The gun that killed Bruce's parents.
But I do.
A precursor to Red Hood. Could be.
I shouldn't have involved you. It'll make you feel so good.
I just want you, like.
This will help you more than I ever could.
So is this hers or his?
It'll
Or are
make you
they in
feel
the
so
same?
good. Trust me, babe.
From the sound of it, it's hers. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're my last hope. Don't. Yeah, we're screwed. That's it, we're screwed. Unless somehow Hank ends up being the one guy who
Everything's better now.
this doesn't work on.
Thank God.
It's too
You
late.
got in. You're here.
You guys need some therapy. You need to work your shit
Your
out,
children,
alright?
aren't they beautiful?
I
This
have only
cannot
one
be the
child.
first enemy they're gonna encounter that actually manipulates
I would
the
give
mind.
the world.
And they failed miserably.
What the hell?
And he still gets to break her heart. They killed ours. How the hell are they gonna get out of this? Is Superboy gonna somehow fly in and save the day? I don't know why he would. Doesn't know any of these people, but the only one left is Rachel. Come on, Raven. It's up to you.
I'm sure it breaks your heart. Yes.
Man,
I
don't
can
give
see
him what he
it
wants.
Good.
Finally crossover. Nice. Love that they're putting the budget into this. That's it.
With this, you have the power to rule the world with me.
So now everyone's under control. Oops. And before I was getting some vibes with comparing this
Should we
with
begin?
Supernatural. And one of the things I didn't like about
Some
Supernatural is
housekeeping first.
the characters
understand.
who are supposed to be demons never really
That's the
looked
problem.
like demons.
You never did.
Loving it. I love the design. Up. Up. You got the gruesomeness.
We begin.
Oh. Scar turned into a snake. He finally turned into something else. What can he do though? Why the hell would he turn back? I guess he couldn't control it?
You're still you. Come back to me. We are still in there, Rach. Please. Come back to us. You've got to fight. Rach. Please don't give in.
That was
We've got to stop your father.
easy.
I need to get Dick back first. He reached me. There has to be a way to reach him.
I think maybe we're past that.
I'm coming to you. But if I die here, I die for real.
Huh. That's risky.
Is that what you really want?
Okay, no idea how he got down there, but
I missed you.
Rachel.
Welcome back.
oh, okay. Thought you went somewhere, Trigon.
Father!
My child. Join me.
I would. But you know. Stuff. I know how to look after myself. Always have. You know what they say. Genetics is destiny.
that was a lot easier than I would have thought it would have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so she didn't trap him in the gem on her forehead. She just banished him from this world.
You guys have fun.
Where are you going?
Where are we going?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
Road trip.
It's a mystery. No, wait. Something's.
I suppose I should figure out my next move.
Head back
Thoughts?
home.
Yeah, maybe a few.
A mystery.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know when I decide.
Another mystery?
Have to go on the internet. Surrender somewhere.
That actually looks familiar.
Shine.
Where are we? Wayne Manor, perhaps? Ah. Hello, Bruce.
Still trying to make sense about what happened as a kid.
Maybe I'm just trying not to see Jorah from
was this
Game of
darkness
Thrones.
inside
It's
me.
kind of hard
I
to
didn't know what to
separate the
do
two.
with it. It hurt me. And I hurt others.
I see. So you've decided which one it is now, and you've come to render a verdict.
No. Doesn't matter anymore. The why or how. I know you only did what you knew.
Titans.
What happened in San Francisco?
Maybe it's time for a do-over.
Ah. Wants to
On what
get the gang back together again.
It's not a demotion, per se.
New team this time. It's gonna be confusing with two Robins though, so we must be getting Nightwing. Can't go on missions and call him Robin 1 and Robin 2. Be a giant T. I'll be so happy if it's a giant T. We'll find if it's not, but oh, yeah.
I get the big room?
Alright, so there we have the first episode of season 2 for Titans. I keep calling them Teen Titans. I'm reminiscing. I like the episode. I mean, I did feel as though some things could have been done a bit differently. First off, Trigon, right? Given how well they built him up in the very first season, heading towards the end of the season, they built him up to be this big baddie conquering worlds, and it was just too easy to take him down. Oh, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, initially in the intro to this episode, that I want them to do away with Trigon and focus on Slade, and I was hoping they would do that, but not this quickly, right? And not in the way that it actually happened. I mean, all the characters that actually showed up to rescue Raven, they did nothing. We literally could have gone through that episode and just had the characters that were already there, Starfire and Stargirl, and just have those two characters. We didn't need Hank. So a lot of, we had in season 1, we had that episode where she was trying to reach Dawn in her dreams, and Dawn woke up and told Hank, we need to find Jason Todd and get there. So it built up this expectation that somehow Jason Todd, or even though the other two, were the key to help them in some way, but they didn't need to be there. They all fell under the same spell the moment they got there. So Trigon's arc was a bit underwhelming. I by no means believe that this is the last time that we will see him. Obviously, he's not dead. He's just been banished. But I don't see why it was just too easy to banish him, considering that he had the upper hand. And he chose not to kill Rachel, but he placed the crystal on her forehead, which I thought initially was gonna be later on this season. Perhaps she traps him in the gem, which is what usually happens when they cross paths in the comics or the cartoon, the animation. But that did not happen. And as for the Trigon's design itself, I like the design. It wasn't the best CG you've ever seen, but I'm glad they made the effort, because as I mentioned before, the supernatural elements of it reminds me a lot of Supernatural, which I loved until I stopped watching Supernatural around season 5, right? I knew there are a lot of fans of the series out there, but it just turned to trash after that. But one of the things I liked Supernatural, but one of the things I didn't like so much about it is that the demons and creatures that were there, they were never depicted as demons or creatures. They were always in human form. They gave them some glowing eyes and some glows every now and then, but it never felt, it always felt a bit too grounded for something that's supposed to be otherworldly, right? So I was glad to see here in Titans they actually took the effort to actually design Trigon. He wasn't as massive as he's been depicted most times, but I was grateful that they went that direction with his design. Be demonic and have the traditional devil goat feet to give it that supernatural that supernatural feel. So that was fantastic. The CG wasn't great, but it worked for what it needed to, and I don't know, it felt as though the CG was, the budget for it was so expensive that they had to just shoehorn him out of the way, to just get him out of the way quickly, right? One episode, let's do away with him because they can't afford to use him going forward. And it's a pity. Look, I've never understood why these why these studios always feel the need to water down television, right? I know it's an expensive budget, I know it's a big budget, but I don't imagine that they don't make that revenue back. I find it very hard to believe that they don't make it back. Perhaps, it cuts too much into their bottom line, but look, do it great. If it looks great, it feels great, it's written well, people will come. People will want to watch it. And it was the same thing that happened with Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was fantastic for many. I didn't watch it because it got cancelled immediately after, and I was like, okay, do I want to watch something that's not going to be complete? I may pick it up afterwards, but it was expensive to make. But based on reviews from people who have seen it, they loved it. They loved what they got. The budget showed, and that's how it should be. And I hope, again, I don't think this is the last time we're going to be seeing Trigon, so I do hope we see him again, and not just for 5 minutes and then he's off screen again. So that was one of the things I didn't love about it. Ian Glenn being cast as Bruce Wayne was fantastic. I do have some difficulty, separating him from Jorah in Game of Thrones, and it's largely because he has an English accent here, which I can't picture Batman with an English accent. He does a great job hiding it, but I can, because I've heard the character speak so much, it still comes out in some way. So we finally have a casting for Batman, an older version of the character. All of these characters are a bit older than I imagined they would have been in this universe, or maybe not, right? Perhaps I keep referencing, the other versions of the Titans, right? Forgetting that these are older characters. Dick is not a kid anymore. He's much older, so Bruce would be much older as well. So it makes sense. But we have our casting for Bruce. We have our casting for Slade for the Deathstroke. I know him as Slade from Teen Titans, so I'm going to keep calling him Slade. But Slade, Deathstroke, same person. And so we have our casting for both characters now, and I imagine that Slade is going to be our villain for the better part of this season. I don't know. I love that we have our new Titans forming now. Dick has gotten a new hideout. He's not forming by the old team, so Hank and Don are not going to be joining him. But I mean, from Garth's perspective here, he was envisioning all those characters there. So I don't think this is the last time we're going to be seeing Hank and Don, and I hope not, because for season 1 they were two of my favorite characters in season 1. So I really do hope to see more of them. So all in all, I love the episode. For a pilot, it was great, but for what I'd hoped for to see of Trigon was a bit disappointing. But again, I'm hoping that it's not budgetary constraints, and with Slade as the main villain, they can focus more on doing practical stuff, which is less expensive. So it would be an interesting direction to see interesting direction for them to go in, and hopefully, one of the strongest points for season 1 was the choreography and the action sequences that we got there. It was fantastic. It was one of the things that drew me to the series to begin with. The very first time we saw Robin in the alley fighting against those mobsters there, and it was excellently choreographed, and I can only imagine seeing that again with up against Slade. I don't think we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of Batman, even though we have a character cast as Bruce Wayne now. I think much like Trigon, he was just here to service this particular storyline and give some closure to Dick as a character, and for him to essentially create his own team and become a leader in his own right. So I think I imagine we are going to be getting Nightwing this season, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And as I've said, we can't go on missions having 2 Robins. Communication is going to be horrible. Hey, Robin 1, come in Robin 2. It won't work. So here's to getting Nightwing this season, and if not this season, hopefully perhaps season 3 or 4, if we get there, that we actually get Red Hood. It was interesting. I don't know if that was supposed to be some sort of hint. Jason's dream sequence is him actually shooting Dick with the gun that was used to actually kill Bruce's parents. And as Dick said in the dream sequence, do you honestly think that Batman actually keeps it loaded? And he said, no, I do. So he has an interest in actually using guns, and as you know, with Bruce, he absolutely doesn't. He doesn't like guns. He doesn't. And Jason mentioned it a few times in season 1 as well, that Bruce doesn't want him to use weapons. He doesn't like when he uses weapons. Batman doesn't use guns. So it's interesting that they keep focusing on Jason Todd's obsession with it, and with that could open up avenues where we could see him transition into the Red Hood. So that's definitely something to look forward to. We don't have our Joker yet. Last season he was some random actor. We didn't see his face. I don't think even in the end credits he was credited, or the actor's name was there. So we have the potential for the Red Hood storyline, and if nothing else, that gets me excited for the future of the series entirely. Right, so definitely looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season will hold. The focus is going to be on Slade, one of the best fighters from Batman's Rogues Gallery. Definitely going to pose a challenge to the Titans, and he's going to test them, and I can't wait to see that. I know he appeared in the Arrowverse before, which I didn't watch Arrow in its entirety. I think I watched just up to when Slade was introduced. I didn't complete the series, but I know fans loved Love his portrayal in the Arrowverse as well, and hopefully they learn from that in some ways, right, and carry some of that over to the times, especially with the action sequences and choreography, because that's something that we need. I would love to spend more time in the supernatural world that we've built surrounding Raven and her dad. I would want to spend more time there, but I understand that it's an expensive endeavor. I get it, but I just hope they don't brush it aside and we never revisit it again, right? For Gar, we finally got to see him transform into a snake, right? Prior to that, he was just a tiger because that's his favorite animal. But we finally got to see him transform into a snake. I'm not sure if that means he has control over it now. From the looks of things, it doesn't. It was just an abrupt transformation that I don't think he expected, or perhaps even replicate willingly right now. But there's hope, right? There's hope for us to see more transformations in the future. And Corey, of course, is I don't know. Imagine she's going to be heading back home. Perhaps not very long. I don't know. I think we need a time skip, right? Or not. But whatever it is she needs to learn, because she still doesn't have her memories back completely. But I want to see her traveling back to her home planet and back by next episode to join the team. So there may need to be a time skip where most of the characters have learned more about their abilities. Rachel herself, because going back a bit to what I said about Trigon before, a part of what was jarring is her ability to defeat him as easily as she did, because so far she was pretty much, didn't understand her abilities, and she was a bit helpless when it came to going up against him. And then, just like that, with the skip of a scene, she was able to defeat him, which the supernatural stuff, when it's good, it's great, and I want to see more. So I do hope that we're not putting it on the back seat and we're never ever going to revisit it again. I hope that's not the case. So hopefully more Trigon, more Raven, learning how to use her abilities, and just more of the characters, more fleshing out the characters, because for a lot of them we still don't really know. We still don't know a lot about Jason, Corey, or Stargirl. So hopefully the remainder of the season, we get to know more about these characters, and I can't wait. Bring on more Slade. Alright, guys, be sure to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Be sure to hit like or subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.